Hey everyone, welcome back to Amateur Sister. Thank you so much for joining me on another Friday. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Thank you for those who have shared the videos. Thank you for those who are here for the first time. I hope for everyone that this video will be helpful in some way. I'm going to share with you some experiences I've had, with comments that people have made about my weight. Just the ones that kind of hit home. And just a brief talk about protecting your mental health, because I can't stress it enough, right? So don't go anywhere. For those of us who are overweight, a lot of times people are gonna have things to say. I don't know if it's that sometimes they don't understand what their words mean or if they have good intention, but we have to be careful to take care of our mental health. We cannot let all the comments get to us. We need to be in the mental state where we know that we are actively trying to effectively manage our PCOS, be healthier, and be at a healthier weight. That is really important. I know the comments from persons can be really discouraging, and then we want to slip back into doing whatever it is that makes us comfortable. And sometimes what makes us comfortable is not necessarily what is best for our health. I think in 2018 or early 2019, I was taking the bus to work. I had work in Mandeville that period, and I don't like being in the middle of the buses. I like to be at the window so I can be able to breathe easier. When you're not in the middle, you're not being squished on both sides, and my personal space is everything, and that it doesn't allow for that with public transportation. So in the minibus, I always try to go for the window. But sometimes, you're running late and the buses are running late too, or there's a crowd of people just waiting to get into the bus. So just to get to work on time, you ensure that you get a seat irrespective of where it is. So there's always a comment about where I can sit and where I can't sit because of my weight. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit at the front then, because that shouldn't play a factor. And the driver was just say you can't fit up there so because you're too big. And especially if a man is already in the front seat, that the men think that it's their jobs to sit at the, for us Jamaicans who travel in public transportation like the minibuses or the coasters, it is their duty to sit at the window. I don't know in what book they found that, but it's their duty to sit at the window towards the door, so they put us on the inside. As females, I like to sit at the window. So if that's the case, then the drivers do not want me sitting on the inside, like towards them, because I am too big to sit there and they won't be able to maneuver their hands or something. And I used to feel really bad because I'm like, they're making it seem like I'm the biggest person in the world or something. So when you're trying to get into the front, then just to avoid all the commotion that some of these drivers will cause, so you sit at the edge and you wait for someone, and someone comes and say, I want to sit, but I'm like, I'm already sitting here. And it's a whole thing because I don't want to go up, because I don't want a problem, because if I go up, they're going to tell me to come out because I can't sit there and I've already been in the bus. I remember this one incident on this morning. I was trying to get to work, and I didn't want a problem because over time I realized some places in the bus that the drivers prefer persons who are bigger to sit, so they can take the maximum amount of persons. And so I decided, let me just squeeze up and stay like where the minibus is, where the door opens. You have the first line of seats and then you have the second row. That place, let me just sit there. It shouldn't be problematic. I remember putting my bag there, waiting for the bus to load, and I remember the driver eyeing me like he was really upset, but I wasn't even sure if he was upset with me because he didn't say anything. And then when the time for the bus to be filled with the last person to come into the bus on that middle of the cross seat right there, he was creating a whole commotion. I've been out here since the bus loading, and I wait till it's full and now I can't fit in the bus because I'm too big. And I'm like, no, I'll be sitting here. Because I mean, I'm the one going to be uncomfortable here. I don't want to make anybody else uncomfortable. I was sitting here right at the door there, so they just basically not even sitting properly. I'm prepared to do that. Him can't carry another passenger because I'm sitting there. And I'm like, okay, I'm willing to pay. Because sometimes I behave that bad and I just, okay, I pay for just to. And so over time, when you realize the attitude, as I go to the bus, I say, I'll pay for 2 seats. This is where I'm sitting, I'll pay for 2 seats. Not that money up now, you can't afford it now, but just to save yourself the embarrassment. This man, he didn't want me to pay for 2 seats. He want to carry another passenger and I can't fit and I have to take another bus. And I mean, everybody was just looking at me. I felt so embarrassed. And I mean, I wanted to cry. I'm not a person that cries a lot or cries much. But it was just really embarrassing because everyone was looking. And I was just sitting there because I was trying to take a stand, you know. But I was... At the same time, people wanted to go to work and it was a whole thing and I just felt so embarrassed and the driver was just on the top of his voice. And I'm like, wow. And you have times when I was working in Ocharias because the job that I was doing sends me in different places, different locations. So I was going to Ocharias and the taxis, and, you know, they want to carry 2 in the front seat. It's an 8-seater, those larger cars. And they want to ensure that they carry 2 in the front, maximize on fares. And it's a whole issue again because as a person who's on the heavier side, you're supposed to sit at the extreme back of these 8-seaters or at the front. If someone who is really smaller than you sits beside you, you can't be sitting beside the driver either, right? Because it won't work. And I remember having that same issue, not being able to get into a taxi because by the time I probably get to that particular taxi, and I don't like to stand extreme back, because there's no space for your feet, and I'm not very tall, but I'm not short either, so it's really hard for my feet to be comfortable there. And I'm going all the way to Ocharias, and it's going to cramp my legs up. I already have fat people problems. I don't need my feet to be cramping up right now. So I prefer to sit at the front, but sometimes you get to these taxis when that is not even an option and it's a whole thing, and they say wait for the next taxi, and it's like, oh, you can't even fit because just to maximize on fares, carrying fat people is not conducive as far as they're concerned. And in situations like these where, you know, you're having that kind of pushback, you know, for some people it's like, okay, work mode now, you have to get serious about this getting healthy journey, this weight loss journey. For me, it was just like, I want to retrieve under a rock. I have to work, so there's no option to stay home, of course. That was when work was keeping. I'm so sorry, it's not funny, it's just, I'm sorry. So, you know, you have to get out and go to work, and it was just really hard. I so badly wanted my own vehicle at that time. And instead of, you know, chat, use this as motivation to really start doing something about your health and your weight. For me, it was, I'm so sad. I'm so sad about this. And the only thing that kind of gives me, like, it's a temporary relief is stress eating. And then the stress eating, you feel sad about stress eating, all these snacks and the sweet stuff. And then rapid weight gain, and then the struggle to get the weight off. So I'm just saying, people are going to see things. I don't know how it is in other cultures. And I don't know if there's something in the school curriculum, the syllabus, that I wasn't taught at all. But a lot of Jamaicans were taught it at their school. Or maybe they were homeschooled. I don't know. This idea of how to start a conversation with someone who is overweight. You get biggie? You don't see I put on too much weight, and that is the conversation starter. And it doesn't matter where you are. I remember going to the wholesale the other day. It's not like I know this lady, it's just that it's a wholesale that's near where I live. It's convenient to go there. I don't know how it translated that her and I were friends, and for her to start a conversation, you put on so much weight. And I just said, hi, good morning. And it doesn't matter how formal I am, she still not get the memo. Say, how is this a conversation starter? You have to ensure that you're taking care of your mental health. You cannot allow your thoughts and your life to be saturated by these comments that people make about you, especially if it's not something that you're using to motivating you to be better or to get better at whatever it is that they're commenting about. You can't allow their ideas of you or their comments about you to cause you to take part in self-destructive behavior. For me, self-eating and whatever it is that we do that is not healthy for us or that's not good for us, that we do to help us feel better. We're an afterthought to persons making these comments. They go home, they don't think about us. They have their own set of stuff dealing with. The world is not perfect, and so everyone has something that they're dealing with, that they're struggling with, that they're thinking about. So when they go home, best believe they're not thinking about you, and you're sitting in bed or you're doing wherever you are, allowing them to plague your mind to the point where you self-destruct. We can't allow that, because whatever we allow to happen to us. In situations like these, of course, there are situations that statement isn't true, right? But in situations like that, we're allowing their negative energy that they bring in this one moment or collective moments to deter us, to allow us to be at a standstill in life. You have to do what's best for you. Try to shut up the negativity or use it as motivation. It's not as easy as it is. I'm hearing myself say it right now, and I'm acknowledging that it's not as easy, but we have to try. We have to work hard. Anything worth having in life takes hard work. So we have to take care of our mental health, do the work. If we need to watch videos on self-help, read books that motivate us, that help us to build up our mental health, whatever it is we need to do to work on our mental health, we need to work on it. Just as we're taking steps now to manage our PCOS, and it's not an easy journey, we're taking these steps and we're working towards it. You're worth it. You're worth having a healthy life. You're worth being the best version of yourself. You're worth having the best of everything that life has to offer. Don't allow anyone to steal that from you. Don't allow anyone to cause you to steal that from yourself. Work on you. Do what's best for you, because only you can do what's best for you. So right now, whatever we need to do, our daily affirmations, reading books that are motivational, listening to stories that are motivational, and taking the steps necessary to better our lives. Let's do it, ladies. Let's do it, because we got this. We are worth everything, and you need to live that worth. Take the steps to live healthier. Take that leap of faith into the career path that you want. Take that leap of faith into starting your business, whatever it is that you're doing. Do it, and do it to the best of your ability. There will be setbacks. Even in our own PCOS journey, we'll have phases where there's setbacks. Push through all of this, because at the end of the day, you know that you love yourself and you're worth having all these things. You're worth being healthy, being successful, being at peace. You are worth it. But we can't just sit back, oh, I'm worth it. Prove to yourself that you're worth it. Show yourself that, yes, I love myself enough to improve, to grow, to be healthy. It's not going to be an easy journey, but it's a journey worth taking. So remember to nourish your amazing selves, your amazing minds, your amazing bodies, your amazing souls with the very best of what's out there. Do not give yourself less than you deserve. Do not settle for less than you deserve. Work hard, push through, and love yourself. Because when you love yourself, there's nothing that you wouldn't do to better yourself. Improve on your health and be strong.